All right, as Chipper would say, enough of
Kendrick Lamar?
No, Kendrick Lamar will be performing at one of the greatest halftime shows of all time today. I'm so excited to have Chipper skip it. He doesn't know what he's going to be missing. And then we got our main man, Deez over here, who's got his head down there. Are you sleeping because that music puts you to sleep?
Yeah, that god-awful fucking music made me doze off. What? I use StreamYard too. There are far better choices than that shit.
Well, I got to add some music
Holy
into
Christ.
it. Would you like this one? Would you like this one, Deez? Let me play this one. Would you like this one?
Oh, you should have heard the first one he was going to play.
Yeah, I'll take that a
Yeah.
1,000 times over than what you just played.
Play the first one that you were going to play.
I heard the beginning of it.
I feel like I'm at a
Steelers-
like I'm at a spa or something.
So Steelers Nation, how are you doing today after we're all woke up here by that god-awful music? I wanted to keep you guys on your toes and whatnot. We are live here on Super Bowl Sunday. Steelers or Steel City Renegades. You got myself, you got Chipper, and you got Deez joining you live. Deez, how's it been? We haven't talked to you in a couple weeks. How's things going?
Good, man. Just ready to get to this off season so we can get our hopes up again, only to be absolutely crushed by December.
Yeah, that's probably what it's going to be this year again, man, unless something dramatic changes and whatnot. But I don't know, man. We got a lot of holes on our roster. We got a lot of things that we got to talk about in the offseason. We got free agency that's coming up. The new league year starts on March 12th. That was just found out. So you can sign your players then. You know, you can negotiate your contracts. I do believe after the Super Bowl with your current players, what I was reading. But free agent wise, you got to wait till March 12th to sign. So, Deez, we'll start off with you real quick. I put together a list of top 5 quarterbacks. If we don't sign Justin Fields back, and we're definitely not signing.
Wait, hold on a second.
Russell.
I got a more important question.
Go ahead.
For the both of you guys.
Go ahead.
How much of the Pro Bowl shit did you guys watch?
Not none. Zero. I didn't watch anything from the Pro Bowl. The Pro Bowl games suck. I don't know why they're still doing it. Time for the NFL to move on and just give them Pro Bowl selections a free check.
Yeah, the only thing that I saw from it was whatever clips that they showed on the McAfee show.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it's no worse than the actual Pro Bowl product that they put on the field the previous few years, because that was just ridiculous as well. But yeah, it's bad, you know.
Okay, you know, while I'm sitting here thinking, let's skip over your top 5 quarterbacks you want real quick, and let's start with this. And I'm going to start with you, Deez, on this. What do you think about the allegations that number 3 made with the Steelers this past week that came out that were leaked? What do you think about that? About what's going on behind the Steelers or in the locker room? And
I mean, I don't know necessarily that he is the one saying it, and maybe it's people in his camp or regardless. But yeah, that's ridiculous and quite unprofessional. I'm glad that it was brought to light. I listen to Dan Kovacevic almost every morning with his Daily Shot, and he kind of broke everything down and kind of put my mind at ease with the whole 0% chance that he's coming back thing. Yeah, that's pretty wild. It's hard to imagine that coming from Russ, because as much as I don't want him to be the quarterback of my team anymore, I do think that he brings a certain leadership quality to a team. So it's difficult to imagine that came from him. I would say it's more of an agent thing. And I mean, how do you even say shit like that and not expect, you know, the truth to come out one way or the other? Obviously we haven't heard really anything from Tomlin or Arthur or anything like that, but all the beat writers that are in the know anyway, quickly squashed that. And basically whoever was responsible for getting the information out, all but guaranteed that he's not going to be in the black and gold next year.
How does that make you feel about Russell Wilson not coming back? Were you I know we talked about this on previous shows and whatnot about how your thoughts were with him coming back. Has that changed anything with you moving forward with Russell Wilson?
I didn't want him from the time that double zeros hit the clock in that playoff game. I was done with him. I was done with him before that. No, I'm doing fucking cartwheels. We've watched that movie. We know how it ends. It's time to put something else on the TV, and hopefully that starts with Justin.
Yeah. Okay. So Chipper, we'll go to you. What are your thoughts about the comments made by his camp or whatever for Russell Wilson?
I'd like to think that it didn't come from him, because the way he portrays himself in front of the cameras and stuff like that, he's a cool guy. He has no issues. He wouldn't badmouth, do something like that. But I just hate to think that it actually came from Russ, but from what we've all read, it sounds like it more or less came from his camp than anything else, because his camp put it out there, trying to make him look better and basically throw Arthur Smith under the bus. So and again, I didn't necessarily want Russ back anyways, but I find it hard to believe that Russ would actually say something like that.
Well, now with these thoughts coming out with that, and you look back on how the season played out with Russ, and I'm gonna have you guys both chime in on this. The season played out with Russ. Do you see it in his play from his camp, like how he came out and said Arthur Smith told him not to change plays, and there was instances that he changed plays on his own and they didn't work?
I honestly don't know. I mean,
so much that he didn't work. It's hard to distinguish which was something he changed or something Arthur called. I don't know. I saw that he sometimes went away from the script or whatever is one of the things that came out, and I don't know.
The offense just got to be so bad the second half of the season that was it because it's Arthur Smith's offense? Was it because Russ was changing plays, and when he did change the plays, they didn't work? Or was it the fact that the offensive line wasn't playing that good?
Listen, here's my thoughts on the whole situation. I was excited when we got Russell Wilson, because I think that he had something left in the tank, and we got him for $1.2 million. And as the season went on, he was okay when he first came out, but as the season went on, man, like, he kept holding on to the ball. He couldn't throw the ball in the middle of the field. He did have a couple deep balls, one to Calvin Austin, one to Mike Williams, the game winner in Washington. I don't think that Justin could have made that throw, but we don't know because we didn't see much of Justin this year and throwing the ball down the field. And when he did, we got our first touchdown from our tight end, Washington. I think that was like a 45-yard touchdown. You guys remember that against the Colts? Sure. That was a good play by Justin. But, I mean, the whole Russell Wilson situation, man, now, I don't want him back or anywhere near this team moving forward. And we talked about this off air. If somehow, some way, Tomlin does the Tomlin thing and bring Russell Wilson back, I think the locker room will be lost. I really do. And now that you hear comments from former or current players on the roster and, Pickens acting the way he is it a little bit of it? Is it because Russell Wilson couldn't get him the football, or the plays were called for Pickens, but he couldn't get the ball to him?
Look, we were all excited and thrilled the first few games that Russ played because he played so well and he threw for 300 plus yards and whatnot. But then again, as we mentioned in weeks after that, I brought up the fact that, the first couple games that he played, we played a week schedule, but then those last 5-6 games of the season, we played tougher teams. And guess what? He got his ass was shown that he couldn't throw it over the middle. He was relying on throwing it to the sidelines and trying to throw short passes, and he just didn't have it. I mean,
once the book was out on him, like you said, that teams basically just bunched up on the outside. If you can't attack the middle of the field and you can't get outside on the bootlegs and scrambles and stuff like that, it was done. He's cooked.
Yeah. I agree with you guys.
It was even brought out on the national media by a couple of guys that I remember hearing that he doesn't like throwing over the middle. Now, if it's because it's a short thing, he can't see over the line or whatever, I don't know. I don't remember exactly what they said, but they pointed out point blank that he did not throw it over the middle. He was always throwing it to the outside, to the sidelines, or throwing deep balls.
Yeah, well, I mean, so now we know, and D says that he heard it from a good, reliable source, and we see it all over Twitter and all over the media. he is not your quarterback moving forward. Okay. So with that being said, go ahead.
So people don't like come to my house with burning steaks. I didn't say that. I heard it from Dan Kovacevic, who
That's what I
claims
said,
to
right?
have. Yeah,
No.
you said D's, but anyway.
These reported, I thought.
Well, yeah, I just said that. That's yes. Okay. It
Okay.
ain't me, but I do trust Kovacevic, even though like the other side of that story came from one of the Pittsburgh beat writers. But yeah, all reports coming out of there are after that whole debacle that there is, and it may have already been decided, but the zero chance that they bring Russ back. Like they've already like ruled it out and he's done, and that they plan to go after Justin, but we'll see how things fall.
Okay, so now we turn our page from Russell Wilson to Justin Fields. If Justin Fields is signed as our starting quarterback, Chipper, we will lead with you. What is a feasible market value, because you like to use that word, market value, as the
market value.
quarterback for Justin Fields moving forward?
Man, that's tough because you have his history in Chicago, which was shit because of who he played for, who he had as his offensive coordinators. And here you had 6 games to see what he could do. I don't know, 3 or 4 year deal.
The asking price for him,
$12 million?
so you only want him to make $4 million a year?
No, $12 million a year.
Oh, $12 million a year. Okay, so 4-year deal, $48 million. You're
Sure.
good with that?
Sure.
These, your thoughts?
Man, I wish we could get him for $12 million a year, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's probably going to be 2 to 3 years in the neighborhood of $60 million. I think he's going to command upwards of $20 million.
I mean,
You can scoff all you want. Somebody will fucking pay it. And if it ain't us, it's somebody will.
Are you okay with giving him $20 million a year?
Why not?
See, the only problem I have with that, you don't have any kind of what do you call it when you look at what he's done in the past, that the type of stuff, because you don't really, again, because he played for shit teams in Chicago. He really didn't do anything in Chicago. He played 6 games here in Pittsburgh, and he did well.
I mean, here's the most I would offer Justin Fields, and this is it: $15 to $17 million a year in a three-year deal. If you can get him at 3 years, $45 million, take it and run to the bank right now. I'm not giving him anything more than $17 million a year.
I got a feeling you're going to be real fucking disappointed here in the next few weeks, then, because I'm betting he's going to get upwards of $20 million. Maybe not right off the bat, but I'm willing to bet that they're going to go 2 to 3 years, upwards of $20 million per, give themselves an out, but also reward him for actually agreeing to come back a little bit.
I would love to look up what the middle of the road, like, you have your like top 5 paid quarterbacks or top 5 quarterbacks, but I'd like to see what like the middle of the, well, I mean, shit, I'm going to say like Daniel Jones, but the Giants were dumbasses and way overpaid him. But I would just love to see what like a middle of the road starting quarterback yearly salary is, because again, there's no.
I'm willing to bet it's in the $15 to $25 million range in that like middle section of QBs.
Okay. I mean, he doesn't really have a true there's a term I was looking for, a true body of work that you can base what to pay him on. If you pay him the $20 million or $25 million or whatever, you're assuming he's going to be the quarterback that everybody has expected but hasn't seen because of who he's played for so far.
Right. Like I said, if you look at the contracts that the top guys have signed over the last few years, they're upwards of 30 to 40 million per season.
Right.
Okay, so who would you consider a middle tier quarterback? Because I have all their contracts right here. Is Trevor Lawrence a middle tier quarterback?
Skill wise, yes, but I know that they just signed him and probably overpaid for him.
So he just re-signed his contract for $15 million a year. That's what he's making.
Okay.
Derek Carr is making $12 million. Tua's making 9.5. Bryce Young 8.6, which is
Whoa. He was only making $9 million?
Yes, $9 million for this past year. He did.
Okay, but that's not his per year average. Look at his total number. Like that's maybe his cap hit or his salary, but because of the bonus and everything, Tua was up in the top, I'd want to say top 5 quarterbacks in the league. That might be what's on the books for his salary, but that wasn't his per year average. No fucking chance.
Okay, so let me look that up real quick. You guys can keep talking about that. So Dak Prescott makes $60 million this year. Joe Burrow, $55 million. Jordan Love, $55 million. Trevor Lawrence, $55 million. You guys are right. I was looking at the wrong one. $53 million for Tua. Jared Goff, $53 million. Justin Herbert, $52 million. Lamar, $52 million. Jalen Hurts, $51 million. Kyler Murray, $46 million.
Oh my God.
Number 4 from the Browns, $46 million. Kirk Cousins, $45 million. Patrick Mahomes, $45 million. Josh Allen, $43 million. Matthew Stafford, $40 million. Aaron Rodgers, $37 million. Derek Carr, $37 million. Baker, $33 million. Geno Smith, 25. Gardner Minshew, 12. Sam.
Okay, so we can stop there.
Yeah.
20 million sounds pretty fucking good for Justin Fields right now.
Holy shit.
You could probably,
Kyler Murray, 37. Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, you could probably, I'm saying you can get Justin Fields probably $15 to $17 million a year.
No, after what you just read off, no, it's going to be a lot more than that.
I don't think so.
God.
I'm willing to bet there's a team out there right now that'll pay him $25 million a season.
Then go ahead and go take it, because I'm not willing to spend $25 million a year.
I don't think we will. I think his willingness to come back and not change everything again will get us a little bit of a discount. But I will be absolutely shocked if he signs with Pittsburgh for less than 20 mil average. That includes salary and bonus. I'm not saying that's going to be his salary number. But I'm willing to bet that he's going to average around 20 million per.
Yeah, I mean, you guys could be right, but I'm saying if I'm valuing Justin Fields for this team for the next 3 to 4 years, and I'm not the GM, I'm not spending more than $17 million a year to sign him as our starting quarterback.
Well, after what you just read off, and again, I'm going to use the term that you love to hear me say, the market
value
will be roughly $20 million, if not more.
I think he goes anywhere from 15 to 17 million a year.
Okay.
That's just my thoughts. I mean, I could be wrong.
It's wishful thinking.
Well, I mean, that's just my thoughts. I think
Omar will do fucking cartwheels if he can get Justin for 15 mil.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
If you go up to Justin Fields and say, "Hey, Justin, we'll sign you for a 3-year, $45 million contract, but we're going to get some of that money and put it on T. Higgins, or we're going to make a trade for Pickens to the Jets and go get Garrett Wilson." What do you think he'd say?
He would absolutely love
to quote one of the greatest movies of all time, Goodfellas, "Fuck you, pay me."
He's not going to say that. If you got him 2 stud wide receivers and you draft, for instance, you draft Emeka Egbuka. I mean, I'm just throwing that out there. If you go up to Justin and Justin goes, "Okay, I want 20 million. That's market value." And then you as Khan and Tomlin says, "Okay, well, Justin, we wanted to give you 20 million, but can we take that extra 3 or 5 million and go get you a shiny new toy and put it on the outside and maybe bring Pickens back?"
On the flip
you can probably count on one hand in the last 20 years how many quarterbacks have taken massive discounts for their team in order to build a winner.
Listen, I'm
willing to bet Justin's not going to join the number on that hand.
And on the flip side, I'll throw this out at you. On the flip side of that, why would Justin Fields say, "Yeah, I'll take the discount so you can give me some new toys"? But however, you guys fucked me by benching me after 6 games after going 4-2.
Chipper, I agree with you on that.
Okay.
But if you're Justin Fields and you want to win and you're comfortable in this situation, like all the reports are, and he doesn't want to go anywhere else to learn another offense, and we've seen how decently he did in Chicago when he had Mooney and he had DJ Moore and he had a decent tight end, Nicole Kmet, and a decent running game. And like Dee's brought up, he didn't have a good offensive coordinator over there. He basically did it by himself, but he got the ball down there. If you have 2 decent wide receivers, yes, you may give him a discount. I'm saying a $3 to $5 million discount is what Justin's going to give them if they come to him and say, "Hey, we're going to go get T. Higgins for $32 million a year and have you a new shiny toy out there. Get him the football."
I don't think that would happen.
I mean, look, in your world of fucking sunshine and rainbows, it sounds good, but in this reality that is the NFL, it's not going to happen.
No.
Okay, well, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Then I'll say I'm wrong. But I'm not offering Justin Fields more than $20 million a year
Okay.
or more than $17 million a year. See, you wouldn't want to be a. I'll go get a stopgap quarterback like a. How much you think Stafford will sign for 1 year, or not Stafford, but Darnold? If you offered Darnold a 1 year deal, how much you think he'd sign for 1 year?
I bet it's going to be more than 15 million.
Would you say 20 million for Darnold?
I think it'd be.
Would I? No. Would I?
it'd be
No.
25
Darnold's a fucking
million.
statue.
I think it'd be around the $25 million mark. However, like I brought up yesterday, after he pooped his pants the last 2 or 3 games at the end of last season, is he actually going to get that $30 million, $35 million contract that he was hoping to get?
Okay.
No,
well, I mean,
he definitely is going to take a massive hit, but I think he went from the $35 million range. I think he's
Right.
down and going to be, like you said, 25 mil or so, because
Right.
somebody will pay it, just like with Justin. Like, you can sit there and say, okay, yeah, I'll take this discount, but that's not how it works. Instead, he'll take the 25 million to go, maybe I should have went over there, but let me fucking wipe the tears away from my face with all these $100 bills.
Okay, so then you get after Justin Fields. If Justin Fields ain't the answer, do you bring in a Kirk Cousins or a Danny Dimes
No,
on a cheap deal?
it better be real cheap. I don't want either one of them.
I mean, I would much if like brought it up yesterday. I mean, if I had my choice, I'd take Daniel Jones over Kirk Cousins for some fact he's younger, probably can get him cheaper. But
yeah, I mean, gun to my head, that's who I would have to go to, but it better be real fucking cheap.
Yep.
If you can get Danny Dimes for 2 years, $16 million, are you doing it?
Reluctantly, yeah, only because he can get away from pressure, whereas Kirk Cousins he's done.
Okay, so I mean, your thoughts on the Justin Fields thing? I mean, Russell Wilson's out. Your thoughts on the Justin Fields thing? I didn't ask you, D, and Chipper. You can go after him
on the Russ thing.
Yeah, no, on the Justin Fields thing. Do you want to bring him back? And if you don't bring Justin back, then who do you want?
I think the consensus is we all want Justin Fields.
Yeah, I've said Justin for weeks now, and I'm happy. I'd be more than happy to give him 20 million for two or 3 years. I'm not going to commit much past 2 or 3 years. And I would even behind closed doors, be like, look, here's the offer. It's going to be 3 years, 60 million, with like 40 million guaranteed. But if you outperform that, then, maybe we can talk lucrative extension, but I'd be pleased with that. And if it's not Justin, I might kick the tires on Stafford, but I don't want to like completely overpay. I almost would go get something off the scrap heap and fucking tank for Arch.
Okay, so then if it's not Justin, and you said that you would kick the tires on Stafford, if you had to pick one and you got a pool leftover of Danny Dimes, Aaron Rodgers, say
definitely not Aaron.
Hold on, let me go through this. Jacoby Brissett, Jameis Winston, who else is out there as a free agent? The McGee kid Kenny Pickett's a free agent. I know we're not going back down that rabbit hole. Who else out there? Allen. Then you got Jimmy Garoppolo, who's a free agent. You also got Tyrod Taylor, who I heard might be released, or not Tyrod. Yeah, Tyrod Taylor, who might be released. What are your thoughts on getting a third-tier quarterback out there if you can't get either Justin and Russell's not coming back? So what's your thoughts on that?
Well, Chipper's not going to like this, but if it's not Justin and I have to settle on a cheaper option, then it's going to be Aaron. Aaron, look, he played. Why? Look, go back and watch Aaron play. Aaron ain't the reason they lost those fucking games. Aaron Rodgers actually played well towards the end of the year. I'd go get Aaron. I'd try and make a trade for Devontae, Cooper, whoever, get him some weapons, shore up, get the offensive line whipped into shape. Aaron Rodgers can still play football. I'll take Aaron Rodgers over fucking Danny Dimes or Matthew Stafford, any of those guys. I'll take Aaron Rodgers all day, every day, twice on Sunday. You don't have to like him as a person, but the motherfucker can still sling it.
And Tomlin loves him.
There is no way in the world the Steelers would go after him and deal with all the off the field crap. No way.
Have you met George Pickens? I mean, they've been dealing with that. Antonio Brown, like they would welcome the bullshit that Aaron Rodgers brings over what they've had with their wide receiver room.
And he has nobody to throw to here.
And that's the thing. If he goes and comes here, they'll probably get Adams and they'll draft a wide receiver.
I don't think that.
Okay, so Aaron Rodgers. Okay, so put it to you like this: if we get Aaron Rodgers, you got Devontae Adams, you got Heath Miller, or not Heath Miller, Freiermuth, and then you go get Abuka Golden or Burden the third, or you go get another wide receiver that's good, or a third. You got Roman Wilson and you got Calvin Austin. You don't think that's a good receiving core for him?
Sure, but first of all, Roman Wilson's got to see the field.
Okay, he will this year.
You hope so.
Well, we thought that this past year, but
yeah, right. But I don't know. I just don't like Aaron Rodgers. I think he's done, and I don't care for his off the field antics. I think he's such a quarterback prima donna. That's my thoughts. That's just my opinion.
Okay,
and I don't think the Steelers would put up
on a 1 year deal.
I don't think the Steelers would put up with it.
1 year deal.
No. I mean, is he a free agent?
I mean, he doesn't know if he's coming back yet or not. He only signed a 2 year deal with the Jets. That's it. He only signed a 2 year deal. So, what's up, Ryan? How you doing?
Good. How are you, Val? How are you fellas doing today?
We're doing all right, man. We're debating the Steelers' quarterback issues here. We know that Russell Wilson's not coming back. We pleaded our case for Justin Fields. What's your thought, Ryan?
I mean, I think you let Justin Fields play one season, see what you have. I hear you guys talking about the wide receiver. I mean, there's going to probably be a lot of wide receiver free agents this year. So, hey, look, why not Tyreek Hill? I know he says he wants to come back to the Fins, but you know, if you can put together a good deal to have that speedy wide receiver in your receiving core, why not?
Okay, so let me ask you this then. We'll get back to Justin real quick. If you're a general manager, you're the Steelers, what are you offering him for a 3-year contract? What's your market value for Justin Fields? I said anywhere from 15 to 17 million. I'm not overpaying him. These guys said anywhere from 20 to 25 million a year. What is your thoughts on that?
I'd say like 18 mil a year over 3 years. 3-year, $54 million contract.
I'd be okay with that, but me personally, I'm not paying him over 17 million. And these guys said I'm crazy, which, hey, that's their opinion. It's my opinion. If I'm the Steelers general manager, I'm not paying Justin Fields more than $17 million a year. Will it happen somewhere? Somebody offers him 22 million to go do it, like the Raiders or somebody who needs a quarterback, then go take your money. I'm not spending more than $17 million a year.
If we get Justin Fields for under $20 million a year, we get a bargain.
Yep.
Okay,
1,000%. I mean, you're not going to do better for less. I'll just if you want to do better than Justin Fields, you better be willing to spend more than 20 million. That's the bottom line. If you're trying to get a quarterback for 15 million, guess what you're going to get? You're going to get fucking Daniel Jones. You're going to get Kenny Pickett. You're going to get not Kenny. Kenny won't command that much. You're going to get a retread that is just not going to get you any further than you might as well go get Mason Rudolph, because at least he knows the fucking facilities like that. That's just the market we live in.
Right.
Okay. So then with that being said, if we don't get Justin, we talked about your quarterbacks you want, Chip, or who do you want if we don't get Justin? Who is your quarterback that you want?
If we don't have Justin, we don't have a legitimate starting quarterback, we'd have to get a retread like a Daniel Jones, who we can get cheap and he's younger, and then draft our future quarterback in like the fourth round.
Who do you want?
Jackson Dart or Will Howard.
Okay.
If they're available. Again, we still got 2.5 months because we still have the combine and all kinds of other stuff to worry about. Yeah, pro days and all this other stuff they do before the drafts. But we got 2.5 months until the draft, so I would go with I don't know, like I said, Daniel Jones if we can get him cheap, just stopgap, and then draft a quarterback this year if it's possible.
Okay. Now we turn ourselves to wide receiver. Your thoughts on that? Dees, go ahead.
The Cooper Kupp thing intrigues me, especially if the Rams are sellers the way that they've been talking about, that you could basically get him for a washing machine. So I would definitely look into that. Devontae Adams is another one that I would look into grabbing.
So with Kupp, you're saying that you could probably get him for a 5th, maybe a 6th, a 7th round pick?
I'm not saying that, but that's been kind of the talk of the town right now, that the Rams are motivated to move him. So I don't think it's going to take a king's ransom to get him off their hands. I think that somebody will probably steal him for not much higher than a 4th, possibly even a 5th. He is creeping up there in age. He has had some injury concerns. When healthy, yeah, he's one of the best in the league. It's just whether or not they can convince a team to pay for somebody that may or may not make it through 17 games of the season. And I think the Rams, like I said, they're motivated. So I think you can get him probably for a 4th or a 5th, and I'd be all for that.
So you're saying give a high draft pick, a 4th or 5th for him?
I don't necessarily call that a high draft pick, but I'd be okay if we got Cooper Kupp for a 4th, preferably a 5th. But if we got him for a 4th and we had Justin, and I wouldn't be super mad at that.
Okay, Chipper, your thoughts?
I'd be ecstatic if we can get him for a 5th round pick, because that leaves us room in the 3rd or 4th round to get our future quarterback or our Travion Henderson
Jesus Christ, we just gave up a 5th for Mike fucking Williams, and we threw the ball at him at 18 times?
That's another thing I was thinking when you just said that, a 5th round. I remembered that they did give up a 5th round for him. Yeah, so I'm cool with giving up a 5th round for Cooper Kupp if he can stay healthy and you get somebody to throw him the football.
That's exactly right. He's got to stay healthy. He hasn't stayed healthy in two, maybe even 3 seasons.
Yep.
Yeah, we don't have a receiver, a possession type receiver that can go across the middle. Of course, we didn't have a fucking quarterback that could throw him the ball anyway.
Correct.
But everybody that we had were kind of one trick ponies, and maybe Calvin and George can catch the ball over the middle. They just weren't supposed to run those routes I know why they didn't run them, because Russ can't see over the fucking line. The only time he ever threw in the middle of the field is if he had a wide passing lanes or rollouts, and half the time he got caught from behind on those rollouts. At least with Justin, you're bringing in a guy that's 6'3", 230 pounds, and can run faster than a fucking gazelle. So I think you'll see, with him being comfortable in another year in Arthur Smith's system, I think you'll see us attack the middle of the field a lot more than we've done in years, because Ben didn't really have the zip with his elbow, regardless of what he says, to really attack the middle of the field. He still went outside and deep. I'm tired of seeing that. Like, that's the same offense that we've ran regardless of who the coordinator was. It's what we've done for the last fucking 6 years.
Can Justin actually run faster than a gazelle? I mean, he can obviously run faster than any of us, but can he actually run faster than a gazelle?
I bet it's close.
I bet you I can give him a good run for his money.
No.
Faster than the defenders that are chasing him anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm okay with Cooper Kupp. I really am. I mean, if you can get him for a 5th or 6th round pick, go do it and jump on that right now. And I know you can't, but I mean, jump on that as soon as it's presented to you and move on. And like Chipper said, go get us another quarterback in the 3rd or 4th round. If they fall, I'd like to see Will Howard or Jackson Dart, because I do believe them are the 2 most pro-ready quarterbacks that if you need to have a spot starter for a little bit.
Besides Milroe?
I don't want Jalen Milroe. I do not want Jalen Milroe. He is overrated. I don't want him. I think Will Howard or Jackson Dart are ready to go if you need them to spot start.
I agree.
I mean, them are the 2 most ready quarterbacks in the draft that I think right now. I know. I mean, they're probably the 4th or 5th, maybe 6th quarterbacks drafted. But I mean, I'm okay with getting Cooper Kupp, and I still think if you got a lot of money and you want to go with Justin, you need to get him a shiny new toy. Is Cooper Kupp the answer? Absolutely not. If you can get Cooper Kupp and maybe go sign a T. Higgins or a Stephon Diggs, and you have Diggs and Kupp, what are you shaking your head for?
You need to stop letting the words T. Higgins come out of your mouth because it's not fucking happening.
It's a possibility. He hasn't committed to Cincinnati.
I don't give a fuck. Pittsburgh is not throwing $30 to $40 million at a wide receiver.
Okay, well then, if we don't get him, then there's second tier wide receivers that we can get. Are you okay with a Stephon Diggs, even though you hate his autograph, Chipper?
Yes, I'm fine with Stephon Diggs.
So Stephon Diggs, Cooper Kupp, Roman Wilson, and Calvin Austin, you're fine with?
The only disadvantage to that is you don't have that receiver that can go up and get it.
Okay, question though, where's George fit in with that?
I'm saying if you trade George, that's what I'm saying. If you trade George,
but that's why I assumed, because you said
it's still better than what we just saw.
I agree. Okay, so then what if you have this then? What if you have George Pickens? You can sign Diggs, you trade for Kupp, and you have Roman Wilson as your fourth and Calvin Austin as your fifth. Are you okay with that?
Well, yeah, I'd be okay with that. That's not going to happen. If they keep George, you can wipe out a big name free agent coming here. Just fucking forget it. If they re-sign George, now if they don't re-sign him and George agrees to actually play out the final year of his contract, which I don't think is going to happen. I think if they don't re-sign him, we're going to have a holdout situation and it's going to get messy. But if they can negotiate something, then maybe. But if they keep George, they're not going to go out and overspend on a wide receiver.
I can see that happening, but I can also see them adding another wide receiver next to George. I mean, if he plays out the 1-year deal, they're not going to spend their money on him. They're going to spend it on somebody else.
Ryan, do you think we should keep Pickens?
No, it's too much of a headache. It's way too much of a headache.
Yeah, Johnson said that he talked to him, and then we're not going to have a problem with him anymore. You know?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. If you believe that, look, I'm going to be interested to see what the wide receiver market's going to be. Obviously, T. Higgins, he's not going to go to the Steelers. A.J. Brown is not happy in Philly. That's the inside word. I'll be interested to see what happens with him. Look,
Ryan, real quick, why is A.J. Brown not happy in Philly? Is it because Sirianni? I mean, he's the number one wide receiver over there.
How often have they looked at his way the last month and a half? Look, they're a run-based offense now. Saquon is there. He's going to stay there for maybe 3, 4, 5 years. A.J. Brown is a diva. He wants to get his catches. He wants to contribute. And the last month and a half, the inside word is he's not happy. He's not getting looks. So I don't know what's going to happen with him after the Super Bowl, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens with him down the line, because to be quite honest with you, I don't think he's going to be back with Philly.
I could see him kind of holding all of this in right now because it's Super Bowl week, but when all the dust is settled, I do think we're going to see that drama kind of come to light.
You don't think he's going to change his tune after he finishes his book, reading his book?
No. It was probably a book with all blank pages. So.
Well, then it's one of the best-selling books with no written pages ever. Then,
and the thing about wide receivers, you look at like what the Chargers did. They got Ladd McConkey, Jackson Smith and Jigba in Seattle. It took 2 years for him to get going, but he had a fantastic year. So it's not like you can't find a diamond in the rough, receiver-wise. In the draft, it's you have to do your due diligence and your homework in the draft, and some teams do great, fantastic draft work, and other teams just shit the bed on the draft because they don't do their homework.
Well, we've done that here lately, shit the bed as far as the draft goes.
Yeah,
I mean, we can all wish. That's my wish list for Steelers quarterback and wide receiver. So, I mean, that's what I'm sticking with. If we don't get him, I'm okay with that. I mean, I just want us to put a winning product on the field that can go out and win a playoff game. And hopefully have a chance to win the Super Bowl.
If Justin Fields not signing, we'll put the Steelers front office in a hell of a predicament. Because that's basically what they're banking on, is the fact that we're going to be able to re-sign him. And if we don't, it's going to put him in a hell of a predicament.
Okay, so let me ask you both this question. Oh, actually, all three of you. Is Justin Fields a quarterback that can lead you to the Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl?
I mean, the easy answer is we don't know because nobody knows. But pure talent, like raw talent, yeah. I think with the right coaching and team around him, yes, I think he's got the talent. Does he have it all up here? That kind of remains to be seen because he's been pulled so many different directions by so many different coaches and offensive systems. But talent-wise, pure athletic ability, yeah.
I would tend to agree with you. I mean, I don't think we've seen the best of Justin Fields yet. I think another year in this Arthur Smith system will do wonders for him. I think that if you get another, stud wide receiver or whatnot to bring to him, or a decent one that he can get the ball to, and you allow him to play the way that he can play and we've seen him play, I mean, the sky's the limit for him. I'm okay with them taking him or having him start for the next 3-4 years. Go get a veteran backup quarterback that kind of knows the system, or been around, the AFC North or whatnot. Jameis Winston, like you said, D's maybe bring a Mason Rudolph back or somebody in the AFC North. Even bring Allen back. I'm okay with bringing Allen back as a backup, a third string quarterback, whatever, just for veteran leadership to be behind Justin. If you need him to spot start for 1 or 2 games, I'm okay with that. But I mean,
yeah, of all the quarterbacks that either are or are rumored to be available coming up, as far as I'm concerned, you cannot name one that has a higher ceiling and more potential than Justin Fields. Period. You could bring Matt Stafford, you could bring Aaron Rodgers, and they could have, one really, really good year. But then what? You know what I'm saying? As far as down the road, future potential, there is no better option than Justin Fields as we stand here right now. Sit here, lay here, whatever the fuck. Not to say that he's going to realize that potential, but it's there.
Ryan, your thoughts?
I mean, he's been fucked over the last 4 or 5 years since he's come into the league. I mean, let's be honest. It's a head game. And look, first 6 games, he was 4-2, and then you bench him. And then the last back half of the season, everybody thought that it should have gone to Justin Fields again, and they didn't. You've got to have the pieces around him to succeed. Aaron Rodgers got hurt. He comes back. He's not the answer in New York. He can't run anymore. I mean, you got to have the pieces around him. And what Pittsburgh does in this offseason remains to be seen. So I think he's a good quarterback. Do I think he's an elite quarterback? No. But he has the tools. He just needs the pieces around him, and that's with any quarterback. And it'll be interesting to see, actually, guys, what happens in Minnesota with Darnold and McCarthy, because does Darnold come back? Do they turn to McCarthy coming off that injury? Remains to be seen. Look, be careful what you wish for at the quarterback position in the NFL, because you can count maybe 5 or 6 elite quarterbacks, and then the rest of them are average. So it's just not a good. Last year's class wasn't fantastic. I didn't think so, but Bo Nix proved me wrong. Some of the others proved me wrong. So we'll just wait and see. You talked about Jackson Dart. I think Jackson Dart is the most NFL ready out of all of them. He's not talked about enough. I think he's going to be a good pickup for anybody.
What's your thoughts on Will Howard?
Will Howard, mentally tough. He's big. He has the tools. Do I think he's going to set the world on fire? No. But Will Howard is sort of a Bo Nix type. But again, Broncos drafted Nix. Sean Payton wants the quarterback's coach. He's got to have the right people around him. You can draft anybody, quarterback, running back. If you don't have the right personnel in place to develop them, it's going to be a shit show.
Yeah,
Agreeable.
for sure. I mean, Ryan Leaf had all the talent in the world. He really did. And then it turns out that he was a head case and he had poor coaching around him. But yeah, once they get into the league, if they don't have that mentality and the people around them, they quickly falter. And then next thing you know, they're shooting heroin in the locker room.
All right, well, we'll move on from the Steelers real quick, and we'll get into the big announcement that happened in AFC North this week.
I just want to throw out one thing real quick in regards to Justin Fields.
All right.
I think Justin Fields definitely has a skill set, but after what I heard, Art Rooney III, the owner of the Steelers, say in regards to the offense, that they're committed to running the ball as far as the offense goes. I don't know if that bodes well for Justin Fields and leading his team to a Super Bowl if they're committed to the run, and Arthur Smith's offense committed to the run. So,
but see, Justin can be a big part of that run, whereas Russ or any other quarterback that you might get out there can't be. They can turn into Baltimore and run the read option and bootleg and stuff like that. So they can still be a running team with a dynamic playmaker like Justin back there, rollouts. Is it going to happen? We'll see. But
will Arthur Smith actually adjust his offense accordingly, or will he stick to his guns saying, you know what, we're running Najee, we're running Jalen Warren, or we're going to do Justin Fields on a bootleg quarterback keeper around the end? I mean,
I think so. He did a little bit of that in those first 6 weeks. I think that they were overly cautious with Justin because of where he came from and the fact that Russ wasn't ready, so that if they went and they fucked up and got Justin hurt, that they were, stuck with Kyle Allen. I think if they commit to Russ, I think Arthur will kind of incorporate a little bit more of the read option type stuff that Justin is obviously really good at. So,
okay. All right.
And you have to turn him loose. The Commanders did it with Jaden Daniels. The Broncos did it with Bo Nix. You have to turn a quarterback loose in today's NFL, because if not, if you're timid with your quarterback, you're not going to go far.
I mean, look at Josh Allen. How often they ram him up the middle. I mean, you can't, as Tomlin always says, you can't live in your fears, even though he clearly does. Let it fly, let him go, let him do his thing.
Okay.
So let's get to the Myles Garrett requesting a trade. Chipper, your thoughts on it real quick.
He's put the Browns in a hell of a predicament, because if he hadn't gone public with it, the Browns probably could have got a hell of a lot more than what they're going to get now for him if they decide to trade him. So they should do right by him by trading him, because he's done whatever he's done with the community and for the Browns. So they should do right by him by trading to a contender, so he can actually get that Super Bowl ring, not let him be another Joe Thomas.
Ryan, your thoughts?
Just, it finally came to a head. He's sick of it. He doesn't like the direction the team's going in, and he wants out, and I don't blame him, because Cleveland's a shit show.
Deez, your thoughts?
The Browns should be thanking him, because they have an out. Like, this is their way to fix the colossal fuck up that was the Deshaun Watson trade. And if I'm the Browns, I'm literally announcing the day that he made his announcement. I'm saying, all right, highest bidder, bring it. Throw us at least 2 firsts, and you might be able to get him. Highest bidder wins. Let's do this. Let's get the fuck out of this Deshaun Watson debacle. They gave away all those picks, all that money. I mean, obviously they're stuck with Deshaun's paycheck for another season, but yeah, this is their out.
The only problem is, though, if I heard right, if they do trade him, then they're still stuck with $40-some million of a cap hit for the next 2 years.
That's their fucking fault.
Yeah,
right?
you made that bed, lie in that son of a bitch.
I agree totally with you guys. I mean, it's ran its course with Myles Garrett in Cleveland, whether fans like to believe that or not. When it first came out, as a thought, I was talking to Mike Wilkes, who does the Bearded Browns podcast, and he said there's no way that Myles would not play for another team. A couple weeks later, Myles Garrett requests a trade. These, I think you said it, and so did Ryan and Chipper all said it. Move on. Let the guy be happy where he wants to be happy at. He's a generational talent. 29 years old. You still got big money left in him, or left on his contract on the books for him. Yeah, you're going to take a loss, but sometimes you take that loss. It's a gain if you get 2 second-round picks and hit on both, or 2 first-round picks, I'm sorry, and you hit on both of them. and you can salvage something the next 2-3 years, maybe get yourself to a Super Bowl, it's worth it. But I mean, let Myles go, man. Free Myles Garrett and let him go to wherever they can get the best deal from. I agree. I mean,
He's going to look real good in an NFC uniform.
yes. I was just getting ready to say that. You keep him as far away from the AFC as you can. Far away from the AFC. You don't keep him in the AFC. If you're going to the NFC, Chipper brought this up yesterday. How good would he look in the Brian Flores or defense? How good would he look with Minnesota?
Not as good as he would look in Detroit opposite Aiden Hutchinson.
Yep. I brought that up a couple weeks ago too. How awesome would that be? Have Myles Garrett and Aiden Hutchinson lined up? Oh my God!
I don't know how you're going to pay both of those guys and keep the St. Brown and Goff and all that stuff. But man, you bookend those two, that defense becomes just absolutely nasty.
Well, the thing with those two guys though, you still got Myles under contract for 2 more years, and then Aiden Hutchinson's still on his rookie contract, isn't he?
Yeah.
So you got the Lions would have that going for him for at least 2 years.
For sure.
Yeah.
If I'm the Lions, I'm going to offer 2 firsts.
Well, wait, isn't Dorsey the general manager there? And didn't he drafted Myles Garrett, right?
I think so.
Dorsey has something to do with him. So
he's the general manager. I think he drafted him.
I don't remember. I know he's part of the front office.
He drafted him. But I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, again, I'd keep him as far away from the AFC as I can if I'm the Browns.
His neighbors are going to be pissed around Halloween time, though.
Why? Because he put the cool decorations in the yard?
Yeah.
I mean, why would you be pissed about that?
I mean, his house and yard at Halloween time looks awesome every year.
You could just tell when they're talking to him at these Super Bowl press conferences and whatnot, when he was on the Pat McAfee show, about how exhausted he is with this Browns organization. And people are like, oh, yeah, he can side with, LeBron because he's a clutch sports guy. And they said, oh, well, he'll never get traded from Cleveland because he owns part of the Cavs. He owns 1% of the Cavaliers, 1%. You could still own part of a team if you don't live there. So people, get that out of your head. Tom Brady doesn't live in Vegas. He lives in Florida. He owns part of the Raiders. So
wait, Garrett owns part of the Cavs?
Yes, 1%. Yep.
Oh, wow.
He's a 1% owner.
Yep.
So, yeah. So, I mean, if you're Myles Garrett, do what's best for your career. If you think if they can convince you to stay. Ryan, do you think the bridge is burned for him to stay in Cleveland?
Oh, by far. By far. He doesn't want to be there anymore. He sees where the organization is going in the wrong direction. He wants out, and I don't blame him. He needs out.
He went through the 1-31 years, and now he sees what they're doing after going 3-14 this year. He realizes that the shit show has come back, and he wants no part of it.
Yeah, he's got to go. Like, I don't think there's any way that they can salvage this.
Yeah, Cleveland's FUBAR.
All right, so we are coming up on Super Bowl Sunday. It is Super Bowl Sunday. We had
you can't use that term.
What?
We're gonna get sued for using that term.
What term?
It's the big game.
It's a big game. It's not the other thing. Super Bowl. You can't say Super Bowl.
Why can't you?
Never mind. You don't get it. You don't hear all the a lot of advertisements that say the big game because they're not allowed to say Super Bowl because it's trademarked.
Who trademarked that? Pat Riley?
No, the NFL. Actually, I brought that up to the guy at the grocery store yesterday. I said, if Kansas City wins, they're going to win 3 times. He goes, yeah, they're going to 3-peat. I was like, you can't say that word. He goes, what? I go, you can't say 3-peat. Pat Riley has that trademark. If he hears you say that, he's going to sue you.
Oh, okay. Wow.
You seriously didn't know you're not allowed to say Super Bowl?
No, I'm not, because all the big networks are saying Super Bowl. So anyway, okay, the big game. The big game.
Sorry, guys.
It's okay. It's all right. But we got the big game coming up today. The big game number 59. We're looking for a Trace Pete. Can't say 3-peat. So Uno Dos Trace.
There you go.
Trace Pete.
Trey Pete. Yeah, there you go.
A Trace Pete in the NFL. I know you're a big Kansas City Chiefs fan here, Ryan. What are your thoughts on the game?
And obviously, you're taking the Eagles.
My heart is with Kansas City, but the Eagles are the better team. I just don't think Kansas City can stop Saquon Barkley enough. I think Kansas City gets boat raced. This is reminding me of when they played the Buccaneers. I just think that there's too much firepower on both sides of the ball, Eagles 31, Chiefs 17.
Wow, you think it's going to be that big of a blowout?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yep. They can't run the football. They haven't been able to run. Like, Dees disagreed with me the other night, but look, Kansas City cannot run the football. James Cook was running all over them, and then the Buffalo Bills got away from running the football for some odd reason. The Chiefs, they're a good football team, but the Eagles are an excellent football team. And I just think that they're not going to be able to stop the run. They're not going to be able to run the football. The only way the Chiefs are going to be in this game is if you slow down Saquon enough, keep him under 100 yards, win the turnover battle, they've got a chance. But nobody's been able to stop that running game for Philadelphia. And I just think this is where it catches up with the Chiefs.
The Steelers did.
Yeah. Yeah. How about that?
No, I kind of agree. I don't think it's going to be quite the blowout that Ryan thinks it's going to be. I think it's going to be kept close for a while. And as long as Philly sticks with the plan, I think that they will. I think they'll stonewall him early on. And as long as Sirianni doesn't try and get cute and let, Jalen throw the ball all over the place and potentially turn the ball over, then I like the Eagles. If they just keep Saquon going until, that third, fourth quarter, that offensive line can wear down Kansas City, and I can see Saquon breaking something late. But if they fuck up and give up on the run too early, then they could be in trouble. But my pick is I got the Eagles 27, Chiefs 24. We are safe from the Chief Pete.
The Chief Pete.
There you go. That's how you get around it.
The Trace Pete. Fuck you, Pat Riley. We can come up with our own shit. My thoughts are, I think Philadelphia wins this game. I think that it's going to come down to the fourth quarter. I think it's going to be Saquon's probably going to have at least 15 to 25 carries for 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. I think that A.J. Brown will have a good game. I think that Hurts might have maybe a 3-touchdown game, 2 passing touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown. I think that Philadelphia wins this game 35-32. And
if Saquon has 15 carries, they're getting blown out. I'll just say that right now.
Wow. Just only 15?
Yeah. You said 15 to 25. I said if Saquon only has 15 carries, they're going to get blown out.
He'll get 25 touches today.
Yeah, I think it's going to be up high. Unless he fucking goes house for the first 3 or 4 carries, then they don't need it. But
Gina's saying she's praying that the Eagles win. So everybody wants the Eagles to win here. So with that being said, we got about 3 minutes left to go on the show. Ryan, are you going to continue to do your show through the off season? And if so, where can they catch you at?
At the Ginch, on the X, the Twitter, the Twatter, whatever they call it, RyanF68@gmail.com. Questions, comments. You can reach me on LinkedIn, Instagram, whatnot. From 4:30 to 6 p.m. today, I will be at Goose's Monte Cristo Lounge and Tobacconist. That's in Limerick, Pennsylvania. Stop on out. I'll be doing a Super Bowl preview show. And more things to come in the next couple weeks.
All right, Ryan. So you're not hanging out with Fuji today and going to watch the Super Bowl with Fuji?
Fuck no, I'm not watching it. If the Eagles win, I'm gonna puke. It's gonna make me physically fucking sick. So, and a fun fact: the last time the Eagles played a Super Bowl in New Orleans, Oakland kicked their ass. Last time Kansas City played a Super Bowl in New Orleans, they beat the shit out of Minnesota.
Oh, damn, that was a long time ago.
Right?
Fun facts. Fun facts.
Who was that? Ron Jaworski versus Len Dawson?
Jim Plunkett?
No, Ron Jaworski, that was the 80-81 season, I believe. The Eagles were heavily favored against the Oakland Raiders. Jaworski talked the Eagles.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was Super Bowl 4. Len Dawson against Fran Tarkenton, and Kansas City Chiefs whooped up on them Vikings.
Yep.
All right, Dees, where can they find you at?
At Hanging with D's on X. They can find me on this stupid channel. They can also find me on
Wow. Wow.
my-
This stupid kid.
my Facebook for the Steelers, everything Steelers, Hanging with D's. I will be doing going back to my Hanging with D's shows where we talk a little bit of everything, sports, wrestling, pop culture, all that shit.
Let me know when you're doing that. I'd like to join. I'm a big wrestling fan.
All right, yeah, definitely.
So real quick, D's,
Mania season.
who was your biggest surprise at the Rumble?
The winner. I did not see that coming at all. Well deserved though. So, but I did not see Jay winning that.
What about return wise? Were you happy to see Joe Henry or Alexa Bliss?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know a lot about the whole Joe Hendry thing. My cousin tells me he's awesome, but if he was so awesome, I think he'd be in WWE. He got a hell of a pop though, so I think that we might see more of him. Alexa Bliss, I mean, I don't know. What are you going to do with her if they don't bring her into the Wyatt Six, who've been MIA? That fuck, who knows? But yeah, we can do a whole show on that, and probably will.
Yeah, let me know. I'll be happy to join that, man.
All right, for sure.
All right, Chipper, where can they find you at?
Home.
Illyria, Ohio.
Home, watching TV or sleeping, one or the other.
All right, guys, have a great Super Bowl Sunday. We will see you guys next week. Possibly, we'll let you guys know. We'll Super Bowl season or football season is coming to an end. Well, regular season,
So sad.
and we'll maybe talk to you next week. Maybe get a list of free agents we'd like to see or take a couple weeks off. But we'll be back soon. So, ladies and gentlemen, have a good rest of your Sunday. And just for D's, I'm playing this song.
Appreciate you. It's way better than the opener. Yep, see you.